trainer, and we're here today to talk about the TMT 9000 soldering system. This comes from Thermaltronics, and it's an RF-based soldering system that uses Curie Heat Technology. Now basically this technology can be used by contract manufacturers, medical manufacturers, the military, aerospace, any sort of service where you do mobile phones or radios, like your Motorola radios and things like that. We use very metal cans and they're very heavy, and you can get big tips like that. And we have the red series ones there, and they typically run around the 420 range. And then we drop back to our yellow range tips. They typically run around the 350 to 398 range, depending on the size of the tip. The larger the tip, the higher the temperature is going to be. You don't really need to set the temperature of this system. The colour band does it for you. As we explained before, the Curie point, the tip is the heater, and the metal mixture sets the point. And you can't exceed the Curie point of the mixture, which means it's a very safe system. It's good on very small microelectronics. It's also good on very large, demanding, heavy loads. I'll just go ahead and explain a few features of the system here. When I pull it out of the cubby here, you'll find that the load comes up and then drops straight back. That's because we have a setback system in the cubby. Now the first thing this is going to mean to everyday people, it's going to save you money on tips. Basically it disrupts the RF and drops the temperature back. And as you can see there now, the system heats up nicely within 7 seconds. And I'll gently wipe that off. I can give it a wipe off on the brass curl and a quick damp on the sponge, and as you can see there, the tip comes up nice and shiny, clean and ready for use. Now this one here is a yellow tip, and I'm working with some lead-free solder today. This is the Nihon Superior solder, which is a very good mixture. It gives you very fluid-like results, as you can see there. Nice and fluid. Now as you notice on the tip, I can put the sponge, the tip in the sponge there, and the load will go up, right up to 65, 70, because it's actually coping with the load on the sponge. And as soon as I take it off there, it drops back. So it's dealing with the load, which in real life translates to big heavy copper ground planes. If you get a copper ground plane, it'll draw a lot of power. If you're just doing a little wire or connector, it'll draw maybe half a watt or a watt. The system comes in a couple of varieties. They've got an output of 40 watts of power, and you can get them in 110 volt or 240 volt, depending on which part of the world you live in. And as you can see here, changing the tip is very simple. You can pop the tip out when the system's active, and it comes up disconnected. I'll put the tip back in the cubby, but first what I'm going to show you is I can hold the tip almost at the end here quite comfortably, and I can hold solder. The tip does not get hot down the back, which eliminates a lot of problems with some soldering irons. A lot of soldering irons on the market will get problems where you put it into the handpiece receptacle. R1 is a very good design here. Now what that does, it just slides straight back in like that and seats. Very reliable, very simple. And you'll notice too that the grip comes off. You can get green grips for lead free or black grips for tin lead. So it allows you to do both technologies. You can run 2 soldering irons off this system, not at the same time. You merely flick the switch over, or a desoldering gun, or a pair of tweezers. And what I can do now, I can actually pop another tip in, like that. And this is one of our Power Plus series. This is a 5mm chisel tip, and this has a lot of power. Ideally for metal shielding cans, and things like that. And that's actually ready to go right now. As you can see, very, very quick. Again on the sponge, I can give it the sponge test, put it on the sponge, and straight away the load meter will go up. And it's not drawing so much this time because it's a big tip, it's got a lot of thermal power. The system has a 4-year warranty. They're very reliable. I take them around Australia in my plastic boxes. They go in and out of the road, and I haven't had a failure in 2 years. So you can buy one of these with confidence. Now, features and benefits, as I said before, the 4-year warranty, and most importantly, no calibration required. the tips actually come calibrated. The system never needs calibration. So again, the Curie Heat to improve soldering joint quality, and again, you never need to adjust the temperature. So it gives you a process which will give you better, more repeatable soldering. Tip range, we can do maybe over 200 different tips for this, ranging from micro conicals up to big, heavy drag tips, mini wave tips, and chisels. There's a wide range. And again, the tips, the lower running costs. It's great on cost of ownership. It's not going to cost you much. You look after your tips, you tin your tips up every time you use them like that. It's going to make your tips last 2.5 times longer. And you put it back in the cubby and it'll go to sleep on you. And that way you can save money on tips. And again, the silicon handpiece and lead. Very heavy duty. It's not going to damage it. So this is the TMT 9000 from Thermaltronics. Thank you.